UFOs, UAPs, CRAPs, flying saucers, discs, has been a topic of speculation across all communities of life in the past year. Information in regards to UFOs has been declassified by the United States government, along with other governments across the globe. The topic of discussion regarding UFOs has become increasingly common to have because of the newly released data, along with footage. The topic of discussion has touched all communities of life. Ever since the topic has become legitimized amongst the scientific community, debated throughout the differing religious communities of the world, and talked about between people that may not fit any of the boxes previously mentioned. This topic of discussion amongst different communities is, in my opinion, one of the most intriguing aspects about the UFO phenomenon. Simply wondering how different communities and walks of life could be altered or affected by the potential knowledge of aliens. In today's segment, I'm going to be interviewing Brother Robert Berger. Brother Robert has been at Manhattan College since 1988, just over 34 years. And the goal of the interview today is to gaze into the view of UFOs from a religious standpoint.
34 years, and I have not seen any UFOs on the quadrangle to this point. I've seen some strange aliens in Jasper Hall in the 32 years I lived there. They would usually come out about 4 in the morning on a early Friday morning, and sometimes they would recognize other human beings, and sometimes they wouldn't recognize other human beings. But that's a whole different story. Well, I guess since First Communion, because when that money was piling in, I thought to myself, hey, this is a pretty good deal. So at First Communion, in Catholic grade school, high school, college, and now I'm continuing the whole process. I know it from TV and my own fantasy land. So when I read the Bible and I read stories of Sodom and Gomorrah going up in smoke, I think, how the heck did that happen? And then when I go on some television program that speaks about that they were wiped out by some space ship someplace, I said, that's an interesting concept. So I think that's biblical history with fantasy. But the others has just been some things like in stories I've heard in Nevada and Arizona, and people seeing strange things at night. It's a curious way to explain some events, like being transported up by a chariot. But I think it's just it's making a connection with fantasy that there's nothing to it at all. First of all, I would stay arm's length away from them because there are enough nuts in the Bronx without getting more people who are seeing UFOs.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm suspect when they come out with these stories. Plus, when you go to Barnes and Noble's bookstore and there's shelf after shelf about experiences with either after death or aliens, and myself, some people make a big buck on this, and other people are stupid enough to buy the books.